All right, guys, so we got the 91 318i up in the air so I can get the rear end off it. This is just a parts car that I bought for the white car. So the advantage to this is I've got four-wheel disc brakes versus rear drum on the 85, and also a rear sway bar. Get you in here to kind of see. There's our sway bar, so it'd be a double upgrade. Got the wheels off in the back, got her up on jack stands. I always throw a tire underneath just for added safety. If I can leave the jack in a spot as well, take it seriously, guys, because I had a family member have a car fall and crush him, kill him, so I take this very seriously. Make sure you're safe. Did the shake test, everything looks good. So I also pulled out the hub sockets. It's just easier when it's on the car because you need to put it on the ground and put some extra torque on it. But these came off okay. This is a 32 millimeter thin wall socket. So next step is I got to get the parking brake cables off. I could just cut them, but I sold the shell as a roller, and I don't want to do more harm than I have to. So I'll just pop the rotor off, disconnect the brake cable, and we'll be good to go. From there, you see I already got the exhaust out of the way. There's just really 4 bolts that hold the whole subframe in. So those will come down. I got to take the drive shaft off too. Again, want to do that before too long here. That way I can rotate, put the parking brake on, and hold the axles so I can get some torque on that as well. The nuts are kind of a pain in the ass to get to, so I'll work on that. Looks like this might have had some rear end work. Looks like junkyard part numbers on the subframe and the trailing arm. So now that I look at the body, it looks like there's a bunch of Bondo in here. So I mean, the car overall, it presents well, but you'll start looking close. It's really not that great, but it'll make someone a good clean roller, and that's exactly what I did. I sold it as a roller, and also sold the engine transmission out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, I think, with disconnecting that drive shaft. That way I can still use the brakes if I need to hold the shaft still while I torque. Then we disconnect our shock and the 4 mounting bolts, lower it down with the jack, and the rear end's out. It's pretty easy peasy. From there, I got to slam the white car's rear end back in this, so again, like I said, I can keep this as a roller. Supposedly these are lowering springs. I'll have to clean them up, see what they say. I mean, the car definitely sits lower than the 85, so I don't know if these shocks are any good. I mean, I might just throw them on just so they're a roller. I'm sure they're nothing special. So I will let me get some things disconnected here, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, guys, we got the rear end out from the black 318i. I was going to try to take a little bit more video of the process, but it's tight work, not a lot of room. I'm just going to be in the way of all the shots. So I just want to show you that I got it out. Looks like these were actually KYB shocks on the back. I still haven't cleaned off the springs to see what they are. But these actually have good pressure in them, unlike the other ones that were dead on the white car. So I'm gonna keep these for now, throw them on, just so I got something to ride with until I decide what I want to do. I'm gonna go coilovers or just like some Bilsteins or something like that. So this is out, it's all nice and clean. I'll have to scrub it all down. I'm gonna paint it before it goes back in. We'll get all new bushings. We'll do all new brake hoses, rotors, pads, probably hardware for the parking brake. I did get a little ham-fisted. I ended up just cutting out the parking brake cables. It just was a little easier. I figured save a little bit of time. They're not that expensive to replace. And the ones in the white car are good, so I could probably just use those as long as they reach. I'm not sure if they're the same between the drum and the disc rear end, so we'll have to check that out. Sway bar is off. You have to take that off before you drop the frame because it goes over the fill hose for the tank. And I got the other rear end back in. I wasn't going to put a diff in it, but this one it's probably not any better of a ratio than what I already had. It's greasy as all get out, so the seals are leaking, which isn't the end of the world, but the other one I have is completely dry. I'll still probably end up putting some seals in it, but this just, it actually made it putting the subframe back in a little bit easier. I did put the junky shocks back in, the springs from the white car. Had to take the drive shaft out, which I noticed that you can't see from here, but I'll show you later on, that the transmission mount wasn't even in the holes. It's just resting on the cross member. It was missing a couple exhaust bolts. So yeah, I definitely think someone did put a clutch in it. The previous owner told me they put a different clutch, performance clutch, and did all the bushings. So that probably does add up, because the exhaust was out, the cross member was definitely out. I didn't see anything telltale with the drive shaft itself. That was pretty decent. These CV shafts are blown out. The boots are no good. Same thing with the rear end that I took out of this car. So we'll have to put some new boots on these, re-grease them. The other one's in the garage already. Didn't feel like dragging it back out. But other than that, it went pretty well. It's really not terrible to do. It's just a lot of in and under the car. Helps to have someone that can put brakes on and let them off, so you can rotate the drive shaft and the CV shafts. It's a lot easier to undo the CV shafts in the car than trying to do it on the ground. So this stuff is all set to go to get ready to be cleaned up, put back in the white car. And the next step for this is to finish up disassembly. I gotta pull the engine and trans out because I sold that. Trying to decide if I'm just gonna cut this support out. Probably be a lot easier to be out of my way. And you know, sawzalls are fun, so I'll probably just cut this out, get it out of the way, and make pulling this out a lot easier. And then this car can pretty much go bye-bye. The interior, I do have to pull the seats out, but that's super easy, super quick. I think that's about all that I'm gonna take from this car. So I'll update you when I start pulling that motor out and getting rid of this. Hey guys, got some work done today. Did some driveway origami so I can get the engine pulled out of this. The guy should be coming here shortly for the engine transmission. And I'm trying to get a hold of the guy that wanted the body, the rolling shell. He hasn't responded back yet. So don't know if that's gonna be sold or not, but if not, I'll sell it to somebody. It's not a big deal. It just was kind of nice because he even had a tow truck and could come get it. So try to get you in here a little bit. Underneath, I got pretty much everything prepped. I don't know how much you'll be able to see, if I can angle well or not. So got the transmission mount out, which actually wasn't attached to the transmission. It was just resting on it, which is kind of nice. It does look like there are brand new bushings in there, like he said, and a new shifter bushing as well. So I probably did get shifter bushings and a clutch, like he said. So that's kind of cool. New owner will like that. So I decided against taking the gas tank out, and the main reason is, well, right there. So it looks like someone tried to use that as a jack point, and well, gas tanks aren't structural, people, so that didn't work so well. Got the clutch slave cylinder disconnected as well. Up front, I got both engine mounts off, and I've got the oops, sorry about that. I got the ground strap off. That seems to be kind of a popular thing that people forget. Got the harness pulled through the firewall, sorry, can't words. Everything else disconnected. Brake booster, heater core lines, AC is disconnected. It was already smashed from the accident, so there was no charge in there. I didn't have to have it evacuated. And then I did just end up finish sawzalling the core support off. The previous owner actually started cutting here and down here, so I just had to finish that cut and cut 2 cuts here, and that is done. You see the apron is pretty mangled up, but I'm sure someone could pull it, make it decent again, or graft in a new panel, you know, whatever the new owner wants to do. But other than that, we are ready to go. The one thing I did want to show, when I first got it, he didn't have the intake boot on it. He did have a tarp over the engine. And when I was cranking it, some water was coming out of the intake, the throttle body area. Just, I mean, not a ton, just a little that I'm curious. I'm curious as to if there's any water in the oil. So I got my drain bucket here, 17 mil. So let's take this off. See what we got. Are we gonna have water? Or are we gonna have oil? Dipstick was about the right level, but you know, judging by the oil leaks that are on this, it probably really wasn't level. So I'm thinking there probably is some water in here. So let's see, and hopefully I don't get all over the driveway. Let's see what we got here. I don't see any water drips yet. Nope, just oil. Awesome. So that is good news. I'm gonna just finish draining this out. Go grab my jack, or the engine jack, excuse me, the engine hoist, and we'll pull this baby out, and it'll be ready for its new owner. I'll catch you back when the engine is out and give you just a quick little walk around. Well guys, it's out. I actually came out without much trouble. Did forget I needed to take the power steering pump off, so that is out, ready to go. Just did a quick leaf blow, got some of the junk off it. New owner's gonna go through it, so I'm not gonna pressure wash or degrease or anything like that. He's just gonna go through the whole thing, get ready for his BMW 2002 project. And that's where it's lived the last, what, almost 32 years? So it's the 91, so yeah, 32 years. Engine bay is gross, as most old BMWs are. She was an oil leaker, but everything structurally looks pretty good. The frame rail doesn't look bad. It's just that upper apron area, even up into this wheelhouse area, it looks good. So this will make someone a good shell. We'll put a 6-cylinder, or you know, who knows what they want to put in this. Make it a fun little toy. Other than that, I think we are done with the major disassembly. I'm gonna pick a couple little things off for my car. So the insulation that's along the firewall, mine's all crumbled and gross. So I'm gonna try to take this off, see if I can make that work for mine. A couple of little bits here and there as well. Other than that, she is pretty much ready to go. And of course, I still gotta pull the seats out, but running out of room in the garage, so that's a good storage area. I think I'm gonna go sell the black E46 comfort seats that I have. We agreed on a price. I just got to deliver it, which isn't something I normally do, but there's other parts out that way and one of my friends, so I'll make a little trip out there and get rid of that, free up some more garage space, and then hopefully this thing will be gone by the weekend, free up some driveway space. It's getting pretty crowded, especially with my neighbor's car that I really haven't revealed yet. You probably saw it a little bit. I was panning around before. Oh, yep, there it is. So I'm waiting on parts for that. We'll do a walk around and talk about everything that it needs in its own video. So other than that, thanks guys for watching. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. And we will see you next time. Thank you.